Hi, this is Dan Wagner, and I want to talk to you about what you see right here. No, right here. The four abilities. And the four abilities are abilities that allow you to compete against highly branded companies. Branding is a phenomenal marketing tool. It really came to life during the 50s when products were so easy to create. It used to be in the old days, if your product works, it was high quality, it didn't, if you had some kind of skin cream and it didn't cause people to break out in rashes, you were considered a quality product and people bought your product. But as manufacturing became more mechanized and more highly controllable, and all of a sudden there's 50 skin creams on the market and they're all of high quality, you need to differentiate yourself. And what you did then is you related some emotional experience, you tied an emotional experience to your product, and we call that branding. And really, you're not branding the product, really what you're branding is the consumer. They are now branded in their mind, in their psyche, with your product, the emotional connection with your product. So one example might be in the 50s there are a lot of soap. We talk about soap operas, but really a lot of different television shows were sponsored by soap companies. Why? Because if you could get a million consumers to buy your soap, you're set. You got a mega large audience, a mega large base of customers. And so what would they do? They'd try to make it seem like your soap was pure, and you had a happy family because you had the right soap, and you had your husband kissed you so lovingly on the cheek because of the soap. And so the soap is now connected to your sense of family, your sense of providing as a homemaker this powerful family experience because you use the soap. So that's what branding did, and now we still have it today. You're smart if you use this product. You're cool. You're hip if you use this product. Stylish, whatever. You're sexy if you use this product. The women will flock to you. The men will flock to you. They'll think you're exciting. So again, an emotional attachment to the product. Think about the products that are popular. Think about your phone. What does your smartphone say about you? Well, that's branding. That's an emotional tie. It says I'm smart and I'm hip, right? If I have an iPhone, it says I'm unbelievably dorky and a tech weenie if I have an Android, right? And you'll have to guess which phone I have, but I'm looking at it right there. And go ahead and add your comments. Go ahead and guess. Am I hip and smart, or am I nerdy and smart? So anyhow, those are really the options between Apple and Android. So the first ability, let's get into it, because really we're going to compete against branding. And I want you to know that I know a little bit about brands. I've done marketing for Apple Communications, Apple Computer. That's funny, we were just mentioning them. Target Corporation, who else? GE, Wells Fargo, IBM, a bunch of others. So I have experience with highly branded organizations. So I have nothing against it. In fact, they've paid my bills many, many years, and they're great. But branding isn't for everybody. Branding is a way that is often expensive. And of course, we're all going to do a little bit of branding. I'm doing branding. Hopefully, you think I'm smart and funny and hip, and I use the right color schemes over here. Anyhow, so that's all branding. But really, branding, when taken to extreme, is really trying to create an emotional connection again between the customer and your product or your brand. So let's move on. What are the four abilities? So the first ability is capabilities. And this is what your organization does. It is your product or service. You make something, you provide some service. This is your capability, and it should be narrow. You are a company that services automobiles, but you don't service trucks. You know, you maybe do exhaust on automobiles, but you don't do truck automobile exhaust, and you don't do propane vehicle. You do internal combustion exhaust systems. You know, maybe you build them, you create them, you manufacture them, or have something to do with that. It's very specific, and maybe it's even more specific than that. Maybe you provide low emission systems or something like that. So that is your capability, and it can be as narrow as it should be. So basically, you're saying to the customer through the 4 abilities, you want to communicate this ability. I have this ability. I don't have this ability, but I have this one. That's ability number 1. The second one is reliability. So if capability is what I do, reliability is, do I do it well? Do I do it in a timely fashion? Do people enjoy, or maybe not enjoy, but do they rely on me? Do they know that I do that thing well? I provide low emission exhaust systems for automobile, and they show up on the dock on time. Okay, so that's your reliability. The third one is likability. And that was, I kind of referred to that in a minute. Do they enjoy it? Do they enjoy working with you? And let me just give you a little hint. The first two, capability and predictability, is really about you. It's about what you do as a provider of a product or service. The second two, first being likability, is really about them. It's about your customer. It's how they perceive you. So that's super important, and there's a whole bunch of things that go into likability, but one of the main things is a sense that the customer has that you personally want them to succeed. Okay? You personally want your customer to succeed. That is really likability in the business world. If they feel like, personally, I want you to succeed, and I'm helping you to do so by getting my product on the dock on time or what have you, that creates likability. Okay, and it can have something to do with the first two, reliability and capability, but not necessarily. Okay, and finally, the fourth, and that is predictability. So predictability has to do from the customer's perspective. Do they perceive that they understand what's coming down the pike in regards to you? So you are going to provide something for them, and it's going to go like this. So one way to create predictability is to be really clear about your delivery process. So if you do a service, if there's an onboarding process, you're going to just communicate that up front. We have an onboarding process where you take people through these 5 steps, and it's really effective, and it helps. What does it help? Well, it really helps relieve stress. It helps get a sense of confidence that I can get a glimpse into the future working with you, and oh my gosh, it makes me feel good. So just like likability, it's what it makes me feel like as the customer about you. And predictability gives me this sense of calm and a glimpse into the future, and I love that predictability. So those are the 4 abilities. If you can nail those, you are going to not only are you going to gain customers, but you're going to retain customers, and that's super important in this world, in this highly competitive world, where indeed branding offers one option where people have an emotional connection with you. We're actually going to give them an emotional connection, but it's not based on some image that we're creating. It's really based on what we do for them. So these are the 4 abilities. I hope you find them helpful. I hope you start to use them. And if you want to find out more, of course you can. Please contact us through the website. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.